Ranking every NHL team based on the amount of success that they've had since I've been alive, this is the sixth and final part. At the fifth spot, it's the Los Angeles Kings. Both of the Kings' Stanley Cup wins have happened since I've been alive. They won the Stanley Cup first in 2012 against the New Jersey Devils in the Stanley Cup final that year. Then 2 years later, they won the Stanley Cup again, that time against the New York Rangers in an electric finish where Alec Martinez scored the Stanley Cup goal in overtime. The Kings made the playoffs a couple more times, went through a rebuild, and now we're a mediocre team that loses in the first round every year to the Edmonton Oilers. But I think Kings fans will take that in exchange for the Stanley Cups. At the fourth spot, it's the Florida Panthers. The Panthers are the reason why I decided to redo this list. I originally did this list halfway through the 2023-24 season, and the Panthers were ranked 24th. Since then, they've jumped up 20 spots to 4th after winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. The crazy part is this team is so good, I think they've got at least another Stanley Cup run left in them, and the next time I do this list, they might be close to number 1. At the 3 spot, I've got the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are one of 3 teams to win 3 Stanley Cups since I was alive. They had a number of players that went on to carve out Hockey Hall of Fame-worthy careers, such as Marian Hossa, Duncan Keith, Patrick Kane, and Jonathan Toews. Even though the Blackhawks have struggled to make the playoffs since 2015 and find themselves in a rebuild currently, it's another one of those instances where it's worth it in exchange for the Stanley Cups. At the second spot, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Pittsburgh Penguins have made the Stanley Cup final 4 times since I was alive. Their first final was in 2008 when they lost that year to the Detroit Red Wings. 1 year later, they beat the Red Wings in a thrilling 7-game series to capture their first Stanley Cup in the Crosby and Malkin era. And then they added 2 more in that era as they captured the Stanley Cup once again in 2016 against the San Jose Sharks and went back-to-back, winning it in 2017 against the Nashville Predators. And at number 1 on this list, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning are the most successful NHL team since I've been alive. They've made the conference finals 8 times, made it to the Stanley Cup final 5 times, and won 3 Stanley Cups. They made it to the final in 2004 and beat the Calgary Flames in controversial fashion that year to capture their first Stanley Cup. They made it back to the final in 2015 but lost to Chicago and then won back-to-back Stanley Cups in 2020 and 2021. Both of those teams were very dominant. They made it back to the final in 2022 but lost that year to another dominant team in the Colorado Avalanche. And I think Tampa's star players still have some great years left in the tank. It wouldn't surprise me if they made another cup run. But as always, leave a like, drop a follow on the Armchair Athletes, and let me know in the comments if any of these rankings surprised you.